International Women's Day is really about looking forward, acknowledging that there's still a lot of work to do, and the work that does need to be done is not going to be an overnight fix, but we all have to start somewhere. It's about advocating for gender equality in all of its forms, whether that's representation or the wage gap.
An opportunity to both celebrate the incredible women in our lives, as well as reflect on what each of us can do in any small way to make our world a more inclusive place.
I think for me, holistically, it's a time to celebrate women's contributions and achievements. But personally, I like to take it as a time to reflect, I guess, on the efforts of those that have come before us and just look with gratitude and admiration for just such brave women.
I actually love Melissa McCarthy. She's absolutely hilarious. One of the things I actually adore about her is she's just herself. She's unique. To be yourself, be proud of who you are, and people will love you for it. And I think that's super, super important.
Personally, I had a career goal to become the general counsel of a publicly listed company, and I was very excited to be appointed recently to the role of Jumbo's first ever general counsel.
I won Leader of the Year after being here for only 6 months.
Advice that I would give to other women in this situation would be to make sure that you're advocating for yourself, whether that's in the moment if you feel comfortable, but if not, making sure you're advocating behind the scenes and calling people out on this behaviour. Oftentimes it's not intentional, it is the inner bias, I guess, within the industry. I think it's also really important to advocate for yourself internally as well. Imposter syndrome is huge. I know that I feel it all the time, and you have to remind yourself that you deserve to be in those rooms, you deserve to speak up, and you've earned your place at the table.
I think that the more inclusive a work environment, the better the outcomes will be. Women belong in places where decisions are made, and therefore the role for all of us is to ensure that there is inclusivity when those decisions take place.
I think that one comes down to your workplace culture, and if you have a good workplace culture, you don't have anything to worry about. Men, women, whatever, all kinds of differences. Everybody's their own person, so it's just the way you treat everybody with respect. Have fun. At our company, we're really a family. I feel like I have a million big brothers at this company and little brothers too, so yeah.
One area where I think we can champion equality in the workplace is by understanding views and opinions on actual or potential bias, and then taking actionable steps to reduce that, whether that's through recruitment, whether that's through progression, whether that's through leadership roles, really understanding some of the barriers that are structurally in place or perceived to be in place, and then addressing those.
So I think there are a number of levers that employers can pull in order to break the bias when it comes to the tech industry. I think inclusive hiring practices, first cab off the rank. I also think making sure that there's adequate mentorships on offer for female employees that are coming into an industry that is largely dominated by men. I think the low-hanging fruit is making sure that there's a supportive workplace culture.
For me, when we talk about what are the work that we're going to be focusing on here at Jumbo, we really need to be quite intentional in the way that we are looking to introduce new initiatives to support the up-and-coming women who are interested in tech. And we are able to do that through some of the partnerships that we've formed through Women in Digital, for example. But as I'm sure people can appreciate, it does take some time from that grassroots level to really build up some steam, so that in the future years we're going to see quite a high representation of women within these technical roles.
I would love to see us get to a place where women in leadership, women in senior roles, is not seen as tokenistic or quota filling, but is actually agreed to be because somebody deserves to be there based on merit, because they are the best candidate for that role, having been given the necessary career development opportunities and having succeeded in them. So I think I would love to see organizations challenge themselves to work out whether they have actually given equitable opportunities to both men and women in the organisation to succeed.
I think there's three things: pay equity, parental leave, and childcare. I think we all know if there was affordable childcare, then women's participation in the workforce would increase, but not just also participation, but the level of their participation, full employment.
I think we need to build each other up and show how to succeed and not tear someone else down to get ahead. To share knowledge with each other and to continue the trend of more women leaders.
I just say be bold and brave and authentic, and always be kind. Kindness should be the only virus. I recently joined Jumbo after a 30-year successful career, so I totally left my comfort zone. So I would just say be comfortable challenging yourself, both personally and professionally, and don't be afraid to fail.
For women wanting to step into a leadership role, my advice would be to first ask yourself why you want that role. Getting clear on that piece is so important because leading others is a lot of work. You're responsible not just for yourself, but for the work and well-being outcomes of other people. If you're still ready to take on that challenge, I say definitely get some hands-on work experience. Whilst qualifications are good, leadership calls you to make hard decisions, and you won't know how you will respond until you're in that situation. Something that's hard to pull from a textbook. I would say put your hand up and make your career goals known so your line managers and the people around you are aware of your ambitions and they can advocate for you and look for opportunities for you to test and stretch your skills. I would definitely recommend looking for projects so you can demonstrate stakeholder management skills, ability to deliver on outcomes, as well as engage with and influence the people around you. I think doing all of this will put you in really good stead or put you in position when a leadership opportunity does come up.
Again, just to really focus on advocating for yourself internally and remind yourself that even if you don't have the skills yet, that doesn't mean that you won't acquire them, and being a woman won't hold you back, and that you are just as talented and just as capable of anyone else who's wanting to pursue these career paths. Some tangible things to look into is obviously courses and trial and error. Just keep putting yourself out there and don't be afraid to look stupid or make mistakes. I know that that's hard, especially as a woman. I know that when I was going into this space, I really felt like I shouldn't be there, but just keep putting yourself out there until it starts to feel more comfortable, and then you'll slowly climb that ladder.